What's up? It's your boy Reemus, and welcome to the ChampSet podcast, the podcast for champions. Today, we're going to be talking about talking your shit. What do you tell yourself on a daily basis, and why it's good to be the one to have good things about yourself coming from your mouth as opposed to relying on it from other people? A lot of the time, I see people post comments or even just make comments in real life saying, you know, um, this sport is supposed to be a respectable one. You shouldn't be so brash. You shouldn't be so cocky. You shouldn't be so arrogant. You shouldn't talk like that. You shouldn't say all these good things about yourself. You should just let it show. You should just let it show. If it's actually you, people will see it. People will just see and recognize the goodness in you if you don't say it. And you're not supposed to let everyone know what you are. In my opinion, that is bullshit. When you look at the greatest fighters in history, there wasn't one that didn't talk his shit. And if he didn't talk his shit to the public, he certainly spoke his shit to himself. So what do we mean by talk your shit? When I say that, I mean you should be the one to talk up your goodness. Like, I just want to know, why is it that people think that being humble is the best way when being humble actually is, there's a certain way that you're supposed to be humble. So what I mean by this is, look at Muhammad Ali, the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Do you know who the first person was to come up with that tag actually? Do you know who the first person was to call Muhammad Ali the greatest of all time? I'll leave you for a sec. Yep, if you said Muhammad Ali, you're right, because Muhammad Ali himself was the first person to say, I'm the greatest of all time. There's no one like me. I'm the prettiest. I'm so fast, I'm a bad man. Is that a good impersonation? Because we all know that Muhammad Ali was the first person to say, I'm the greatest of all time. Now look at it now. Every single person on the planet every single person on the planet would call Muhammad Ali the greatest of all time. And if you don't, you're kind of weird. And I don't even mean just greatest of all time in terms of his boxing skill. I just mean as a monster, as a great, he is at least one of the people that we call the goats. And we know that goat is short for greatest of all time. So if Muhammad Ali is the person who is talking his shit, saying he's the greatest of all time, who the hell are you to not do what Muhammad Ali's doing? Because to follow Muhammad Ali is not a bad path to follow. I think, that should be the blueprint of every single boxer on the planet, to follow Muhammad Ali, because he was the master of manifestation. He was the master of having a thought and bringing it to fruition. And what did Muhammad Ali say? One of his quotes goes by, it says, um, "It is from the repetition of affirmations that lead to beliefs." I don't know if that's exactly what he said, but certainly along the lines he said something like that. And that's actually what my new book, Automatic Ambition, is about. It's about changing your inner dialogue. Um, People love to say you shouldn't talk your shit. You shouldn't say you're the best. You shouldn't say you're the greatest. We have to look at where that's coming from. Where is that coming from? The person that says that, do they have what you want? Now, if they don't have what you want, there is no way that you should be following what they are doing. Period. That's it. There's no. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what makes them feel good, makes them feel bad, unless they're part of you reaching your goals. If someone who doesn't have what you want or isn't on the road to having what you want, that is not a person you should be listening to on how to live life or do things. So me personally, I'm gonna look at Muhammad Ali, because I'm gonna look at Muhammad Ali. I'm gonna look at Floyd Mayweather, who calls himself TBE. Now, what does the world know him as? TBE. And if you don't know what TBE stands for, it stands for the best ever. So it doesn't even matter if you believe that he's the best ever or not. You're gonna call him that. He's put it out there himself first, and now people respond to him according to that. Even the haters that don't believe he's TBE still have no choice but to talk to him on the basis of that, on the context of that statement that I'm TBE. Even if a hater says you're not TBE, on some level they just acknowledge that the word TB or the phrase TBE is in Floyd Mayweather's world. You get what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter. So I say this: the first step is this: stop listening to people who do not have what you want. The second step is start looking for people who have what you want and then follow what they are doing. When you look at Mike Tyson in his prime, how the hell did he talk? Come on, man. He said there's no man on the planet that can beat me. I don't even know why these mortals even attempt to enter my realm. He took this stuff to another level. So it just confuses me why people, um why boxers in particular think that for some reason you're not supposed to talk your shit. Now, let me tell you why people like that. People like when you don't talk your shit because it doesn't address their own insecurities and their own shortcomings. For example, if you say, I'm the best at this, it actually highlights the fact that they are not the best at something. So you see, when people say, be humble, they're not saying it for you. Everything I'm saying right now isn't for me. It's for you. I'm saying this so that you can get better. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, the value exchange is in your favor. I'm talking and I'm trying to get you a result. When someone says, and a result that you want, actually, that's also important. It's not just a bad result, it's a good result because it's a result that you want. When someone says, be humble, don't say that you're so good. They're not saying it for you. They're not saying it because it's in your favor. They're not saying it because it helps you get the result that you want. They're saying it because it helps them get the result they want. It's very, very selfish. It's just incredibly, uh, it's incredibly selfish. And these are the people that a lot of you are going to listen to. And it makes me sad because if you would listen to yourself and if you would listen to the part of yourself that does believe, that does have potential, you would be greater than listening to the people who do not have what you want and don't want you to get what you want. So again, um, let's look. Let's first look at the people who have what we want. And if you're a boxer, you should be looking at champions and nothing else. But then let's also take another step. Let's take another perspective of this thing. People like to acknowledge and basically approve when they see respect given in the sport. And I think that respect is important. But it's a particular type of respect that's important. And it's a particular type of way that respect is supposed to be shown. So, for example, when two fighters are in a press conference and they say the same old boring stuff that people say in every damn conference, they say this: my opponent is good, my opponent is going to bring challenges, and we're going to be ready for whatever he brings. And I hope he has a good fight. May the best man win. Boring, 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 boring. Like, I probably just put you to sleep even saying that stuff. Even though you know I'm joking, I still probably put you to sleep. And the point is this: no one cares about that, especially because it's just monotonous and it's repetitive. We hear it all the time. And anything that someone hears all the time is human nature. It's human nature not to give your attention to it. So when you watch a press conference and you see people just talking boring, yeah, it's respectful, but it's boring. Those fighters have just potentially lost out on potential payments, because the guy that talks the most actually gathers the most attention. So not only is talking your shit good for you in terms of beefing up your own confidence, your own belief in having to do something, it's actually beneficial for the people that say or claim that they don't want it. Because people will still make a comment, oh my God, like for example, when a Floyd Mayweather, let's say Floyd Mayweather in his heyday when he was talking the most trash talk, right? He gathered attention. Even the people that hated him still gathered around. So you see, there is a great fight out there. There are great fighters out there, but because they don't speak, they don't communicate to the public. They don't communicate the meaning of themselves to the public in a way that relates to the public. So they don't get attention and they don't get interest. Thus, they lose out on ticket sales. So the reason why when Floyd Mayweather was talking his shit, why that worked for him was because when he did that, he was relating to them. Even the people that hated it, he was still relating to them because he gave them the opportunity to vent what they don't like in the world. They don't like cocky and arrogance. So it actually gives them an opportunity to say, hey, I don't like cocky and arrogance, which actually is a chance for them to reflect on what they are. You know, that's kind of a deep way to look at it. But if you can look at it like that, you can just wield the public um around yourself, and you can gather so much attention that you can be the next superstar of boxing. You see, the next superstar of boxing will have to be the guy that speaks or knocks out, actually. It's one of the two. He has to knock out people in an incredible fashion, or even better, he will have to talk, be an excellent communicator. That's it. So people demonize this as fighters, even though what I'm saying is right. People in boxing may demonize this because not because it's wrong or false, but because they're not able to be an excellent communicator. They'll say, that's just not me, you know. I don't feel like a fighter should be like that. Well, depends what you want. If you feel like a fighter should sell hundreds of millions of tickets, actually, no, you do have to be like this. There is no debate. There is no debate. When you look at the greatest, richest fighters in history, you will notice that there was a lot of media attention that was based off on things that weren't to do with the actual fighting themselves. For example, Joe Lewis versus Max Schmeling. Even though Joe Lewis was obviously not a trash talker, it was still based around the racial tensions of America versus Germany. That's something outside of what boxing actually is. So when you're speaking and when you're talking your stuff, that is exactly what you're doing. You're addressing needs that are to do with character and personality, which, as I said, relates to the people who are watching, or it makes fighting relatable to the people who are watching it or who could potentially watch it. And that's why they get interested, and that's why you're able to gather so many casuals. It's also a way to gather hype around the fight. If you say this is going to be the biggest, baddest fight ever, I'm going to knock this guy out in the first round, he's not even going to be able to breathe. He's not even going to be able to. He's going to wish that he never even attempted to look at the contract, because when he looked at the contract, what he was really looking at was a suicide note. Damn, like, can you just see how powerful that is? Like, I just said that right on the spot. You think if a fighter doesn't say something like that, it isn't getting thousands of shares on social medias? Like, people can't necessarily like casuals can't share content that says, yeah, and I just looking forward to a great fight. It's gonna be a great one. It's gonna be spectacular. So make sure you order on pay-per-view. I'm gonna bring the best. I know he's gonna bring the best, and I know everyone's just gonna bring their best. You know, everyone's just gonna bring their best, and it's just gonna, accumulate, and our bestness is just gonna lead to a great fight. Now, obviously, I'm trolling a bit, but you get what I'm saying. That not a casual cannot share that. He can't. But a casual can share when the guy says, "Oh my god, this guy, he should have just fell asleep and never woken up again," because that's exactly what I'm gonna do when I get inside of the ring, inside of that canvas, inside of that squared circle on blah 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 the date. you know, fighters love saying the date, but um, that is something that the average person can share and get their people excited about. They don't want to share something that is just boring and gonna be monotonous to their own followers. So talking your shit gathers hype, it gathers interest, it makes you sell more. And there is no argument to this. Yes, people won't like it, but that's not your problem. That is not your problem. You gotta get what's yours. You gotta get yours, man. You wanna make money in the sport, you have to be able to become confident enough socially to become a good communicator. One that gathers interest. Muhammad Ali done it. Floyd Mayweather done it. Mike Tyson done it. Do you get what I'm saying? And I know Anthony Joshua is a incredible knockout artist. So he's a good example of someone who is respectful and still gets a lot of sales. But again, he has a brand that is attached to more than just fighting, because he's the Olympic champion. So he's taken on the represent he represents a country. Do you get what I'm saying? So that is that's always going to pick up some of the people who wouldn't be interested in the pub in boxing, but that's still a form of communication, because he's communicating, hey, I represent you, and that's powerful. But the counter argument is this: even if he no if Anthony Joshua started to talk trash, guess what? He would be even bigger. He would piss off people, who otherwise would have liked him, but the people who love him would love him, and the people that hate him would hate him. And his haters would actually be more willing to watch his fights. Like the people that dislike him now, they're not of any worth to him. Do you know why? Because they won't share, they won't talk about how much they hate him, so they won't spread the word of him. They won't really do much. It's not enough emotions to lead to energy and action. It's not enough to lead to them, spreading the word of him or spreading the content of him. Now, if these people hated him, they would post and say, I hate this guy. Look what he said. But that post that they think done so much to damage him would actually lead to hundreds of more sales in tickets and pay-per-views. For sure, just from that one person. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's how you look at this stuff, is more than just like, oh, get in the ring. Yes, we fight because we love it. No, it's a business now. It's a business. But even going back, let's forget the business stuff. Let's go back to the first reason why you should talk your shit and then now end it. It's not that it's not that talking your shit is so good for the other people as much as it is good for yourself, because it's good for you to hear yourself talk good about yourself. It's good for you to hear anyone talk good about you. But a lot of the time, the first person who needs to be the first person to say good things to you is you. And why would you leave other people to recognize what you are? Why don't you start with yourself? Why don't you be the one to say, you know what, this is my good thing? Why do we have to wait for it to be recognized? I just want to know why that's a thing. Like, why do we have to wait for other people to decide that they like us, or to decide that, hey, this is a good trait about you? Why do we have to wait for people to decide that, oh, hey, you're actually good at this. You would be good at that. You would be, great at this. No. Why don't you be the first person to say, I could be good at this? Because what if those other people never noticed that you could have been good at that or that thing? Then you would never do it. Then you would never make the steps and put in work and put in action in that thing that you have potential in. But if you are the first person to do it, you will do everything in your power to make sure that you act on that belief that you have about your potential. So I do not agree when people say, be humble. Being humble should be based on helping you win. To maybe when you lose, you just try to learn. That's a example of how you're supposed to shift being humble, or be humble in the correct way. Do you get what I'm saying? So be humble in a way that actually helps you to improve, and that's it. If being if being cocky or arrogant doesn't help you, then obviously don't do it. But the point is not to be cocky or arrogant or humble or any of those things. The point is to be a winner at the end of the day, and to do anything that helps you to win. I can guarantee on my life, if every day, this is something I talk about in the first chapter of Automatic Ambition. I say, for the first 30 days, and then for the following 60 days, dedicate yourself, commit to being good to yourself, to being nice to yourself, to telling yourself, hey, I am the shit. Basically say that in 1,000 different ways. Say, my jab is magnificent. My left hand would shake Hercules. My right hand would scare Hades. It's kind of weird talking like that, but just in your own way, just say, I am the best. I guarantee you, if you say for the next 30 days, I'm the best in a million different ways, You know, there is no way that's not going to have an effect on you. Like, for example, you go into spar with someone, we may be thinking, oh, but what if that? What if this? And it's just all based on negative self talk. But if you were to just say to yourself, no, I'm the greatest, no matter what happens in here, even if this guy just beats me up, he ain't walking away without a scar, and I ain't walking away without learning a lesson. So either way, it's a win-win. No matter what happens right now, it's a win-win for me because I know I'm great. You talk like that, oh my God. And enough of you are not doing that. Enough of you want to be like, oh, well, I'm kind of good, like I think I can be all right. No, no. When someone asks you, do you want to be a champion? This is what you say. You say, goddamn right. You say, I'm going to be the best. When someone says, do you really think you can make it? You say, you goddamn right. I have no doubt in my mind I'm going to be the best. There's no doubt in my mind. And if you have a doubt in your mind about me, you're crazy. But don't worry, I'm going to lay it out on the line. I'm going to prove it, and you're going to see. And those doubts you have about me are going to turn into positive beliefs. You're going to be going to be a part of this journey. Like, for sure, I guarantee my life on it. You think you talk like that and that's not going to hit a person, go, whoa, he really means it. And when people hear someone talk like that, you know what they call it? Charisma. That's the only reason why we're so interested in Conor McGregor, man. Because that guy talks. We go, is he really going to do what he's saying he's going to do? Like, is he really? When he says, there's no one that can touch me. Now, obviously, he's lost, his last fight and, he lost the one with Mayweather and stuff. So that aura is kind of gone. But at the same time, he is the most famous person in his own sport because of the fact that he speaks. And we all wanted to see, is he right? Is he the greatest? Is he going to knock this guy in one round? Now, the counter argument to this is, don't speak unless you know it's true. So the internal thing you have to do is sort out that you actually believe is true. Now, it's kind of like a funny argument because what if you speak in a way where you're truly confident, you could not be confident. Speak confident and you will become confident. It's kind of weird. So what really comes first? Whatever's comfortable to you, man. But regardless, just stop believing you're a loser, man. That's all I say to people. Just talk your stuff, man. And not only are you going to believe it, people around you are going to believe it. And when other people around you believe it, they help to upkeep that affirmation in your head. If someone believes that you're great, they start to talk to you based on that belief that you are great. So that helps you to believe that you're great. Because think about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 100 people now think you're great. You keep doing this, you keep turning doubters into believers, 1,000 people think you're great. You do not even need self-belief at this point, really, because everyone else thinks you're great. So they will do the hard work of the self-belief for you. It will be hard. It's actually harder to not believe in yourself when there's 1,000 people who believe in you. You're like, damn, these people believe in me. There must be a reason. There must be a reason. And if ever you start to have a doubt and you couldn't see why you're great, those other people would remind you. Anyway, I'm going to end it on that. Talk your shit. If you're going to be humble, it can only be because it helps you to improve, not because it helps other weak, insecure people to feel better. Everything's about, doing the best for you, and that's it. When your career's all said and done, you don't want to look back and you gave it 50%. You don't want to look back and you gave it 99%. You want to look back and you gave it every absolute cell in your body, the effort. Every part of you was given to this sport because this sport is no joke. And we want to walk among the boxing gods. We want to walk among the men like Muhammad Ali. Anyway, that's it from me. Signing out. Peace. Determination, ferocity, victory, bravery, fearlessness. There's more to a champion than meets the eye. Take AJ. It isn't just his muscles that win fights. It's his hunger to be humble enough to learn from up-and-coming media outlets like Reemus Boxing when the competition would be too prideful. Automatic Ambition reveals the secrets of champions such as Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather, Deontay Wilder, and Anthony Joshua, as well as others, on how they got to the top. For a limited time only, get Automatic Ambition for half price over the launch period and unlock your inner champion now.